Welcome to another Volti Audio one-take video. How y'all doing? I am just fine, thank you. A lot of good comments from last week's video. I appreciate that. Gives me stuff to talk about. Of course, I think I could ramble on for quite a while on just about anything, but you know, this is focus. This is good. So I appreciate it. I asked, are my videos too long? And a lot of you got back and said, no, they're good. This person said, these videos at about 30 minutes are perfect in length. I like the unscripted, freewheeling nature of them. I do too. So I got some comments on subwoofers. When don't you get comments on subwoofers? People love to talk about subs. People have mentioned different brands. I don't know, it's hard for me to try to, to seriously try different brands of subwoofers. It's quite an investment. I made quite an investment in, as you saw, in a bunch of SVS subs. And it's hard to know, there's so many out there. Anyway, somebody said, have you thought about some of the ELAC subs that do auto EQ? No, I hadn't heard of them. Somebody else said, take a look at Rhythmic Audio servo subs. Servo subs are pretty cool. Do you guys know about servo subs? I'm not a real technical guy, so I'm just going to give you what I think it is, and I could be completely wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I think that there are little servo motors on the back of the cone of the woofer, and as the cone moves, as the signal is applied, cone moves, the servos send a signal back to the amplifier, and somehow the two of them end up talking to one another. The woofer cone is actually being controlled by the amplifier, and that sounds really cool to me. So I bought a kit from a company that was Rhythmic Audio amplifier and driver, and there were the parameters of what to build for a cabinet. And I put it together, and I remember I was listening with the original Vittoras at the time, and everything sounded really good for about 20 minutes. And then I realized something wasn't right anymore. And I had blown the thing up. So, not the first time that I bought something and been disappointed and it blew up on me. So even though I love the idea of that servo sub thing, and I think Rhythmic has something going there, the whole experience didn't work out so well for me. I'm an HSU sub consumer. You are consuming HSU subs. I'm going to buy another ULS 15 and put my three-way bookshelves on top of them and see how high I can run the sub in a kind of biamped four-way sort of thing. Use my mini DSP to do the crossover and see what happens. That sounds absolutely horrible to me. But it does illustrate how there's all kinds of different ways to enjoy this hobby, isn't there? I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I think. If you like listening to the bowling channel on your system with four large subs in the room, all the power to you, man. I think it's great. But yeah, that sounds just. I don't know. I don't even know what else to say about that one. Do you like Richard Thompson? I don't know who Richard Thompson is. This guy says, try the album he did some years back titled Mock Tutor. I will. And this is why it's nice to have a streamer, even though it's a friggin' computer, as part of my music system. That's how I'm going to listen to it, right? I'm going to figure out if it's music I like, and I'll listen to the sound quality of it. And if it floats my boat, then yeah, I might go find it on vinyl. That'd be kind of cool. The other day I heard that Boz Scaggs has a new one out too. I'm a Boz Scaggs fan, so So I have to go listen to that one too. Somebody else writes to me, possible Scala crossover upgrade, question mark. Yeah, I think it's a great idea. I hadn't even thought of that, and I'm glad you mentioned it. But yeah, when I dig into the Scalas, I think that's going to be after Capital Audio Fest. Are any of you going to Capital Audio Fest? I think a few of you are. That is less than 2 weeks away, I think. And so after I get back from the show and put everything away and take a deep breath and figure out what I'm doing, then I'll dig into the Scalas. And I already make a crossover that I know is going to work great with them because I sell them to Klipsch Upgrades customers. The VTK 400 crossover, originally designed for K-horns, but works really well with bells or Scalas or any three-way horn speaker that's set up that way. Works really good with that. Very flexible because it's simple for one thing. But that crossover also gives you L-pad resistors to change the level of the mid-range tweeter. Really a very nice crossover. And it's gonna work great with the Scalas. So I'm definitely gonna try that. I'm gonna stick those in there and see what that sounds like. You know, listening to the Scalas, I was listening the other day a little more to them after I did the video. And geez, there's just no bottom to those things. They're so lame, frankly. They're just really lame sounding, and I suppose it's because of what I'm used to. It's if you didn't know, right? It's one of those things. But man, I think if you just turn the mid-range down 3 dB, just turn the mid-range down 3 dB. All right, but yeah, we're definitely going to dig into Scalas. All right. Somebody else wrote, I notice your room seems very lively. Does it sound lively? Because I'm sitting in my room. Well, I'm close to my room. It doesn't really sound lively to me talking in here, but when I heard it on the video, I did a test video to make sure the audio was okay. It sounded a bit, I don't know. Maybe it is lively. Maybe I like lively. I don't know. Your room seems very lively. Cement block wall, hard tile, sheer drapes. I think the drapes are absorbers. My room is lively as well, but hardwood. I used to worry about this, but it's good to see you're okay with the livelier room. You know, I think, well, basically, you know, whatever works for you. I've been in rooms before that were, I thought, over-treated. Just killed the sound. Nice rooms, too. Big. One in particular I'm thinking of, just a huge room, really nice, and just too much stuff everywhere. And yeah, so if you ever come to a show and you come into my showroom, you'll notice there are no special room treatments anywhere. I get comments on this all the time. You know, you should treat your room, it would sound better. Excuse me, my room is one of the best sounding rooms at the show. Consistently, every single show we do. And I love the fact that I can just plunk down a couple speakers in a room and I don't have to fiddle with it for more than, 2 minutes. And I get a great sound every time. And I see these guys because I've been to enough shows now. I walk down the hallways late on Thursday and the room, you look in and the room's just a chaotic mess. They're still fighting with everything to get it working. And I think, if you've got to fight that hard, good luck. That's all I can say. It shouldn't be that hard. And I don't think you should have to have a lot of room treatments to have a really good sounding system. And I guess I'm spoiled because this is one of the things about horn speakers in general is that they're very directional. They tend to interact less with the boundaries in the room. And so therefore you can just pretty much plunk them down. You can take a pair of Raz, stick them in any room, and there you go. You got Raz sound right there. Just that simple. So, another thing. I have had this discussion with people before, and I can't understand why people feel this way. If the room's feeding back to you, they say that we're overpowering the room. There's another word for it. What do they say? I can't remember the name of it. But basically, the bass is overpowering the room. No, it's not. The room's giving you some back, right? You're building energy in the room. To me, that's a good thing, especially if it's done under control, which of course means you have to control your volume. But man, I love having a room feeding back to me. I want that sensation of building energy in a room and feeling the music, feeling the bass. Not just the bass, feeling the music. That's what happens at a live event, isn't it? So, yeah, don't be scared of that. Don't be scared of a little bit of impact, a little bit of musical impact. It's okay. You can listen above 60 dB. You know how many people, I'm on the phone with them, I'm talking, and they tell me, yeah, I listen around 55, 60 dB. Like a little, what's the point? I don't have time for that. All right. So a couple people mentioned the Jubilees, the Klipsch Jubilees, right? And they want me to talk more about it. And so, well, I will a little bit. Klipsch did have the Jubilee system, somebody mentioned this. At Expona 2023, I think that was the year, the Jubilee sounded horrible to many there. Many folks commented how bad it sounded that year. But, they put it in a gym-sized room right in the middle of the room with no corners, and it sounded like a portable PA system at a high school pep rally. It did sound a little bit like that. I spent a lot of time in that room because I love big horn speakers, and I guess I can listen past a lot of things in order to enjoy what I love about horns and that huge, impactful sound. And they weren't shy about turning it up that year either, which I thought was great. And but yeah, I mean, Mr. Klipsch must have been rolling in his grave. This is his last great design. This is a man that spent his entire career talking to you about high sensitivity speakers and speaker efficiency and how that was beneficial, and how if you put just a little bit of power in, you get this effortless sound out of it because of low distortion, because the woofer cone's only, And then this crew shows up, and by the way, this guy goes on to say, the Jubilee demo was being done by a distributor, not Klipsch. That was a mistake. Well, I saw Klipsch people there that I recognized, so there may have been a distributor involved, but the Klipsch folks were there as well. They show up to the show with Mr. Klipsch's last great design, super high sensitivity speaker, and what do they got for amplification? 400 watt solid state amps and DSP. Man, oh man. Yes, it did have a lot of problems. It was cool, but it was not cool. So if you go on my website, I don't know where it is. It might be, I think it's on the Raz page, maybe down at the bottom. I've got a bunch of pages that I write, and I hide them down at the bottom for you to discover. And one of those links to pages is to all of the comments about the Klipsch Jubilee room that year at Expona. I went through the internet, I found every comment I could, good or bad, compiled them in one place, and I did the same thing for the Volti room. I went through and found every single comment I could find, good or bad, compiled them together, put them in another place, right there in front of you to compare, and it's the stark contrast is what I like about it. It's the same stark contrast I hear when I listen to a pair of La Scalas versus, a pair of Volti Audio Rivals, or especially the Vittoras. All right. So that's it on comments. Something really cool happened this morning. Mr. Brian Walsh showed up here right on time, and he brought with him my Kuzma turntable that I bought from him, and he set it up, and he's obviously very good at setting up turntables. He had stuff spread out all over the place. I've never seen so many little tiny tools and measuring devices and hooking up a turntable to a computer. I just stayed out of the way. And when he was done, we put on some music, and I listened to 2 or 3 songs, and it was very good. I need to do some more time listening. Obviously, I'm looking forward to it. I heard a lot of background noise on one track. This track had quiet passages, and the background noise was I think it's, I don't know a lot about this, but I think it's, needle in the groove noise. And is it normal? I hope so. I don't have enough experience at this point in my life with the background that I have now in this business, and with listening to all the things I've listened to. Last time I had a turntable, I was still impressed with my pant legs moving from the bass in my room. Kind of a different mindset back then. So background noise wouldn't have been on my radar. Anyway, I'm curious what you guys have to say about that. I'm going to ask Ken McAuliffe. Who better to ask? Do you all know Ken McAuliffe, Stereophile Magazine? Ken's got a great channel. I love going to his channel, and when he starts breaking down these different albums that he picks up, and just his way is very good. He's also an extremely good interviewer. And it's interesting, I learned that Ken, his first interview that he ever had was with Stevie Ray Vaughan. Can you imagine interviewing Stevie Ray Vaughan? Anyway, Ken's a good guy, and he's really good with turntables, and he knows everything about them, so I'm going to ask him about my background noise on my I just got to make sure it's okay. And I'm leaning towards bringing this to the show, actually. So I don't like to complicate things at a show. I want things to be very simple. I want 110% know what my system's going to do, what it's going to sound like, and there's a lot of unknowns with this. Even just the physical part of handling an album, believe it or not, for me is, I'll handle it here just fine, but I'm just saying at the show, it's going to really slow things down, isn't it? At the show, it's like bang, 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 digital, one right after another, and come sit down, and here, you listen for your 45 seconds, and then off you go, and somebody else in, and it's just this chaos. And putting an album on is going to completely put the brakes on the flow of music at the show. But I think that's the point, isn't it? It's the point for me anyway. So let me show you this thing and see what you think. Are you ready? All right. I'm going to zoom in a bit. There we go. And one of the things I really like about this is how compact it is. It's fantastic. I mean, look at this. I love that there's no plinth. Doesn't that look good sitting on that table? Not much to it, is there? No, not much to it. right, hang on. Hard to do this. The motor just sits under there, and there's nothing to hold it in place except just, you know, the gravity of the weight of the motor. And the feet aren't sticky enough. It's something I got to work on, because when I press the on button, it moves the motor. I don't like that. All right, hang on, here we go. Yeah, that sounds really nice to me. Hang on a second. Huh. All right. Anyway, what do you think? This is, I had to pull a bunch of stuff out of the rack. You know, I'm always doing a lot of experimenting in this room, trying out different things, and just needed to clean stuff up here and get this really ready for the show. I want to get the whole show system here in one place, working exactly the way it will be when I get it set up. And that's a pretty clean setup right there. That phono preamp back there will not be there. I'm going to make another little shelf under the back of the top of this table, and you won't be able to see. There's a couple things I'm going to put there that you won't see, just to keep things nice and clean. But this will be my digital, be the Weem Ultra with the Mojo Audio DAC, and that is our prototype preamp that controls the subwoofers. Excuse me, the ELF cabinets. Come on, Greg. It will be subwoofers. I'll be bringing SVS subs with me. I actually am thinking I'm going to use the micros in the room. Those tiny little micros. But I think they'll work well because it's a small room, and I think they're going to sound great. Now, I wanted to show you this because I got another Weem Ultra. Yeah, I think I mentioned it a couple videos ago. I wrote Pardo on there. That was me. I wrote that. It's by Teddy Pardo Audio. And hang on, let me get this out so I can show you. That's that. Hang on, I'm going to go back out to this. There we go. All right, so this is what they send you. And if you look here at the back, you see they've replaced the power plug on the back, and they give you this cable that ties it to the external power supply. Right? Nice. IEC connector, so I can use Triad Wire Labs power cable in that. That is going to be a lot of fun to try out this next week. That's coming up. I'm going to do a comparison of this Weem with the external power supply against the stock Weem Ultra. And if you remember before, I was comparing my Weem Ultra to my Ineos Zenith Mark III, and I could not pick one over the other. You could blindfold me, I wouldn't have been able to tell you which was streaming the music. And so that means, what if the Weem Ultra with the external power supply sounds better than the stock Weem Ultra? Well, then you'd have to say that it is then better than Ineos Zenith. No, Greg, no, can't be. All right. There you go. I'll have more information on it. I don't remember how much I spent on this. I think I'm thinking it's $1,000-ish, something like that. But I'll let you know more about it next week. Now, I am not going to walk you through the shop because it's just boring stuff. It's the same stuff that's been out there. Maybe a little farther along, but we'll do it again next week. How's that? All right. There we go. We've come to the end of the video. We've come to the end of the time where we get together on Sunday mornings and have a coffee and shoot the shit about audio. But don't despair. I'll be back next week. In fact, next week's going to be just a regular video as normal. It's the week after that's going to be... I don't really know what's going on the week after because I'm doing the show that week. And there's going to be probably a lot of, I'm going to do a lot of videos, I think. Maybe it won't work out, I don't know. But I think I can do quite a few videos. I'm just going to go around the show and check out different things. And if it interests me, I think I'll do a quick multi-audio one-take video right there at the show. What do you think? And I can just post them using my iPhone right from the show. So I hope you look forward to that. But next week will just be, I don't know what I'm going to talk about next week. If you leave me some comments and give me some ideas, then I'll know what to talk about. I really appreciate you guys. Appreciate your support. And trust your ears and have fun. And I'll catch you on the next one.